Okay, so what if you could set up a perfectly configured computer, not in hours, but in just minutes? And not just one, but as many as you need, all of them completely identical. Well, that's exactly the promise we're going to dive into today, looking at how to pull this off with EasyOS and its really powerful tool, EasyClone.
You know, this whole thing kicks off with a super real-world problem. This is a request from a guy named Don who manages 16 identical computers. He got EasyOS running on one, loved how fast it was, but then he was staring down the barrel of setting up the other 15 one by one. His need for a simple solution is literally why EasyClone exists. It just goes to show you, this isn't some techie gimmick. It's a practical fix for a massive headache.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why you'd even want to clone your system. Then we'll walk through actually creating the clone. After that, we'll get into the 4 essential files you need, how to deploy them, and finally, we'll look at what happens during that kind of magical first boot. Let's jump right into section 1. Why clone your system? Because really, understanding the purpose before you learn the process is what makes it all click. So, what in the world is EasyClone? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a photocopier machine, but for your entire operating system. It creates a perfect, complete snapshot of your current setup. I'm talking all your apps, your settings, your desktop icons, Wi-Fi passwords, everything. And it neatly packages it all up into a single file. And this is where it gets really practical. You could use it to create the ultimate backup, right? If anything ever goes wrong, you can restore your perfectly tuned system in just a couple of minutes. Or you could be like Don and use it to rapidly set up a whole classroom of computers. You could even create your own customized version of EasyOS and share it with a friend. It's all about saving a ton of time and making sure everything is consistent. Okay, on to section 2, creating your perfect clone. This is the how-to part, and trust me, it's way more straightforward than you might think. The entire creation process? It really just boils down to these 3 simple steps. You launch the tool, you choose which parts of your system you want to pack up, and then you click a button to generate the file. That's it. So let's break each of those down. First things first, you gotta find the application. So as you can see here, you just pop open the main menu, go to Setup, and you'll see EasyOS Clone installation sitting right there. One click, and you're in business. Now, this next step is crucial. The tool gives you a list of checkboxes to decide exactly what gets packed into your clone. If you're making a personal backup just for yourself, you're probably going to tick everything. But let's say you're preparing this clone for someone else, well then you might want to untick personal data like your browser history, your network passwords, or maybe some security keys. You have total control over what you share. And once you hit Create, this is the confirmation window you'll see. And I love this part. It doesn't just say done, it tells you it created a file called EasyClone, and more importantly, it lists the other files you're going to need to copy to bring this clone to life. It's like it gives you the next instruction right on the screen. And that leads us perfectly into section 3, the 4 essential files. Seriously, think of these as the fundamental building blocks, the only 4 things you need to build your new system wherever you want to put it. And there they are. That's it. All you need to do is put these 4 files into a new empty folder. They might look a bit technical, I know, but together they contain the complete DNA of your operating system, ready to be activated. So, what does each one actually do? Let's break this down with a simple car analogy. Vmlinuz? That's the engine. It's the Linux kernel itself, the heart of the whole operation. Initrd is like the ignition key. Its job is to get everything started before the main engine takes over. Then there's easy.sfs. That's kind of like the car's body and chassis. You know, the base EasyOS system and all its default apps. And EasyClone? Well, that's you. That's your custom paint job, your seat position, your favorite radio presets, all of your personal settings and files, all packed up.
All right, section 4. We've created the clone, and we understand what those 4 files are. Now it's time to actually deploy it by putting all those pieces together in a new spot.
So the deployment process is just as simple as creating it. Step 1, create a brand new, completely empty folder on your target drive. Step 2, copy those 4 essential files we just talked about into that folder. And step 3 is the most technical part. But the idea is simple. You just need to tell your computer's boot manager where to find this new operating system. Now, a file like this might look a little intimidating, but let's just break down the idea.
It's just a text file that acts as a menu for your computer when it starts up. All you're really doing is copying an existing menu entry and just changing the folder path to point to your new clone. You're not writing code here, you're just editing a signpost to give the computer a new destination to boot from. And now, for our final section, the first magical boot. This is where all the pieces finally click into place, so let's walk through exactly what happens when you start your clone for the very first time.
So here's the sequence of events. The system boots up using your 4 files. The very first thing it does is ask you to set a new password for security. Once you do that, it creates a set of fresh, empty, encrypted folders for all your data. Only then does it find your EasyClone file and automatically unpack all of your settings right into those new folders. And just like that, boom, your system is live and it's a perfect twin of the one you cloned.
And I really want to emphasize this security step because it's so important. Each clone gets its own unique password. This means you could give the same clone system to 10 different people and each person will have their own private encrypted space. It's a really fantastic design choice.
So, let's do a quick recap of the most important points. EasyClone creates a perfect snapshot of your entire system. It's incredibly useful for backups, sharing your setup, or deploying to many computers at once. The whole process really just hinges on creating and copying 4 essential files. And finally, that first boot is designed with security baked right in, making sure every clone can have its own unique password.
You know, this process isn't just about technical convenience. It's about opening up possibilities. It gives you the freedom to experiment, to share, and to build without being afraid of messing things up. So that really brings us to the final question. Now that you can perfectly clone your entire operating system in just a few minutes, what are you going to create?